Welcome, adventurers. Here's what happened last time on the Incorrigible party.
Narrowly surviving their exposure to the blue light, Shaft, Shikara, and Horic have successfully deactivated the Paladin Tower, but with no proper container for the second Eye of Dendar. Transporting it is safest left in the hands of the undead. Limping their way to the abandoned farmstead northwest of Drakal, they settle in for a rest in a safe place.
And now, on with the show.
As your long rest begins in this farmstead just north, you're about like a mile north of Drakal, right? Not very far from the city at all. Actually, kind of roughly about the distance that the tower itself was from the city, kind of eastward of you, obviously. So it's like you've traveled almost the length of the entirety of Drakal, like at least 20 miles from your journey from the tower to here. But as your long rest begins, and the three of you, Shaft, Shikara, and Horic, of course, all bed down with Sparky on watch, Shikara, you hear a voice in your head. And it's Mia. She sent you a sending spell.
Where are you? We need you. Why did you leave? What's going on? That's not even that many words. Okay. XOXO, Mia and Falsey.
I am going to ignore it. I'll just rub Sparky's head and roll over and try and go to sleep.
So while I'm laying there, sort of starting to catch some Z's, I sort of reach down, I look at my wrist, and I see the shackles, and I remember that I can't take them off. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time, looking at them again, trying to recall exactly how these things work and attune to the shackles.
Okay, does that mean you have to drop something else?
And I am going to get rid of the tower cube.
Easily done, as, throughout your 8-hour rest, if you had normal watches, you're really only sleeping for about 5 or 6 hours, right, in that kind of 8-hour period. So that's easily done during your long rest before you try to get some sleep yourself.
Other than that, I'm just going to try to get a good night's sleep if possible.
A few hours pass during your rest, and Shafts, you seem to be sleeping, you and Horic actually both, sleeping pretty soundly. But Shikara, yours is interrupted again. You get a feeling that you've experienced a couple times before. It's kind of that it's just like something that you know about Isabella's portals being utilized twice in the span of about an hour or so.
Can I tell which one?
No, unfortunately, you can't tell which ones were active, just that the network, for lack of a better term, has been used.
Okay. I will make note of that.
And as you're getting kind of this restless sleep, you do see Sparky is kind of peering through one of the few windows on this first story where you set up. He's got the kind of tattered and threadbare curtains just slightly parted, with his little nose pressed gently against the glass. And he kind of notices you stirring it, and he flits over to you, clearly looking to get your attention.
What did you see? Show me.
Sparky kind of flits over back to the window, and I assume you follow.
I will look through his eyes, actually.
Oh, okay, great. Why don't you give me a perception check then, as Sparky peers back out? That would be using a pseudo-dragon's stats. I just point out how lazy it is for Shikara to just remain laying lounge out on the ground.
No,
Oh,
in
15
defense.
feet away? I'm not walking over there.
No, it's less conspicuous for Sparky to stick his nose out the window than for Shikara's whole freaking big head to be sticking out the window. It's stealth. Thank you very much.
I see. My apologies.
That's an 18.
As you hone your senses in and peer through Sparky's eyes, you see that the snow outside has stopped. Still fairly overcast, but Currently, it's the middle of the day, based on the timing. Like, you arrived at the farmstead in the morning hours, and peering about 200 or so feet away, you are able to make out a figure clad in all white furs, and they seem to be crouched in the snow. You can barely see the outline of them as it's kind of white against white. Before this figure kind of stands up and clearly peering westward, but will turn and swiftly move eastward, which is back in the direction of the tower.
Can I make out anything about the figure? Race or anything?
No, nothing like that. It seems they have this kind of winter garb drawn tight, hood up, right? Trying to provide themselves as much camouflage in the surrounding terrain as possible. You certainly do spot a longbow, though, slung across their back as far as weaponry.
How fast are they going? Are they running or walking?
They don't seem to be like sprinting or making a dash. Normal pace, I would say.
Sparky, do a scout. Do a circle around.
So you want to maintain, like, you want Sparky to circle the farm and the barn? How far out would you like Sparky to go?
Yeah, I want him to go first in the direction of the figure, stealthily, and just kind of loop around and come back to me.
Okay, so the distance in which you spotted...
Not 200 yards.
Okay,
about
I was going to say.
Yeah, not all the way to the figure.
Okay, you just want to constantly be peering through Sparky's eyes then.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume you are finally going to get off your ass and perhaps open a window or a door for Sparky to get out of the building?
No, I wanted to fly up the chimney. Is there a chimney?
There actually is kind of a smokestack that's connected to the potbelly stove in the kitchen.
I will open a window briefly for him to fly out.
All right, you kind of reef on the window, and you see like the window actually itself looks like it's been painted shut. So you kind of crack this thin layer of paint, just the 6 inches maybe you'd need for a pseudo dragon to slip out. Sparky, why don't you roll me a stealth check? As the first thing, you said you want him to move towards the direction of the figure, which was again eastward.
Oh, 12.
Sparky starts to fly out, staying kind of low to the ground, and with some of it was a heavy snowfall, as you know, and some of the kind of prevailing gusts. There's many like drifts that have formed as Sparky kind of stays like a foot above the ground as he's moving up and down them, and obviously through your eyes, it's not like you're watching him fly away. You are in the perspective of the pilot. So 100 feet out, which is about half the distance from where you spotted the figure. Like Sparky doesn't spot any tracks in the snow, not even the ones that like you all wouldn't have made them either under the effects of Shaft's last pass of the trace before you arrived. So there's no disturbance in the semi-freshly fallen snow in the east, at least. Now, do you want just a like 100-foot kind of diameter perimeter around, and then, I mean, obviously, like Sparky could be out here like as long as you want him to.
Yeah, just fly up high in the air so we can get a better view with long distance, do a circle around within 100 feet and come back.
Why don't you give me another perception then as he flies up?
Oh, 20.
From this new perspective above everything, as Sparky starts to do kind of a circle around the property, right? Again, focusing immediately eastward, you do spot the figure continuing to retreat. Kind of losing sight of him as the figure veers northeast now towards like the base of the mountains. Losing sight of him in like a cluster of kind of those rings of the tree line that kind of form around the peaks of the range. He disappears amongst the foliage as Sparky continues to scout again around the property and like what would be now like west on the other far side of the barn. That shaft at least had come up through the sewer system and the darkling tunnels right inside of and had the fight with the OG Jolvi. No tracks westward, north, southward, like no disturbances again in the snow, the surrounding snow. Obviously, without the aid of magic, it would be incredibly easy to pick up tracks, especially now that there is no more snowfall to fill in any gaps or divots.
And he'll fly back to me. Sparky, stay on alert in case that figure comes back. And I will go back to sleep, because I am exhausted.
The last 3-4 hours of your rest do go by without any more disturbances. Shaft, Horic fully rested. Perhaps Shikara could use a little more. I mean, obviously Horic is left with 1 level of exhaustion, as he did have 2 as well. I believe same for you, Shikara, right?
Same.
So you can remove that. You will benefit from the long rest. But again, as maybe Shikara's taking a little longer to kind of stir and wake up, Sparky again flits over, like landing on your chest, Shikara, and then immediately tries to jump over to Shaft again, like trying to stir everybody, and then Horic finally afterwards. And he flits back to the window.
Is there someone out there? I'll go to the window.
Okay, and Sparky's like pawing and like tapping on the glass. And now, immediately as you look out, you now see the figure in white, again about that 250 feet away, still clearly approaching the farmstead now. But this time they are accompanied by what look like 6 of Samuel's personal guard, as you recognize the replicas of the armor of Kalar that they were all like the dozen of them, right, that he seemingly always had with him, were wearing.
Shaft, paladins are coming.
Oh, great. Roll over, I throw my boots on, I whap Horic on the chest. Get up, get up.
Get the eye.
Are we running?
We have to.
Okay. And I run over and slide the stuff off the opening we covered up, flip it open, and sort of jump down into the cellar. Running over as fast as I can, knock the box over, grab the bag out of the box, and climb back up. Are they still coming?
Are they still coming?
Yes, Shikara. I mean, you're. I assume you were keeping watch at the window as Shaft
Yes.
goes down.
How far away are they now?
They're closing the distance, 200 feet away, rapidly closing. Again, they're not rushing. They're like moving at a normal pace. So Shaft, as soon as you get within 15 feet of that bag, you can roll me a Constitution saving throw as you step into its light.
18.
That is enough, just enough. You've met the DC without the safety of the cube to aid in your protection, but you do stave off the effects of this eye. And like clearly, Shikara, you can see as soon as that trapdoor opens and Shaft descends the steps, right? Those rickety steps into the dank smelling cellar. You get the whiff of dirt and grime from down there, and the dust kind of expelling from the huskies as they just shamble in place, waiting another command. The glow is thrown up the steps as like Shaft, you have your hand on the bag. You feel the tug of essence of life force from your body right inside of the effects of the eye, and you're stepping back towards the stairs, and it is clear that any further up there you would be casting light up into the living room.
I don't think we should take this up. Let's just keep it hidden.
They'll find it. They'll take it.
I don't think we can travel with it.
Bury it.
I slide back down real quick. I throw it over under some of the boxes and throw it, and I shut the door, the latch door. Coming down, I go, cover this up, and I get down inside.
So you're staying down there?
Yeah, I mean, if it gets bad enough where they come down, I guess, I'll do what I gotta do, but I'll protect it.
All right, I'll drag stuff over top of the trap door so it's hidden. Nice little throw rug, chair, table. Something.
Before I shut the door, I go, deny, deny, deny.
Did you want Horic with you? Like right now, Horic's still
No.
I'm going to strike up a casual pose. Like I'm just waking up. And I'll, shoo at Horic. Be normal.
Well, I will say, at least we got the long rest. This could have happened last night, so...
Okay, so, Shaft, assuming you are trying to remain as quiet as possible.
Yes.
Shikara, what are you doing on... Are you remaining on the ground floor? Are you also attempting to conceal yourself? Like, what's your plan?
My plan is to deny. I'm going to act like we stayed here for the night to rest, and Shaft had to go into Drakal, so we're waiting here for him. That's what we're doing. We're waiting here for Shaft.
Okay, so you were just watching them approach from the window.
Not obviously, but yes.
Do you want to make a stealth check as you do so?
Do I want to?
This is what I'm asking. Are you, like, right now, you do not know if your exact location, if it's clear to them or not. You're just watching them approach the farmstead, right? So it's going to be up to you whether or not you were going to make your presence known or attempt to conceal it.
Conceal. And I did roll a 19. Unless I need to do that with disadvantage because of my armor, which I wouldn't think that would apply here.
Well, you still have a level of exhaustion, so you're doing everything with disadvantage anyways.
Hold on. Oh, that roll was better, so...
So 19 it is then.
Take that, indifferent DM.
Shaft, go ahead and give me one down in the cellar. I'm going to give you advantage, though, based on how you're concealed and you're like below ground.
27.
Horic is going to retreat away from the window and essentially position himself at the base of the stairs that lead to the second story, making sure he's well out of sight of any windows looking in. This group now of 7 paladins approaching. They get about 60 feet from the building that you're in, and you hear the one in white kind of motions to 3 of them. We lost their tracks a number of yards out, but they couldn't have gone anywhere else, if not to the city. He points to 3 of them. Let's go check the farm. The rest of you check the house. And they split off. 4 of them moving further west, past the house that you are in, towards the barn and the gate, kind of attached in this extra area. You know, the whole place is kind of fenced in, right? There's a number of different areas within the fences themselves, kind of to navigate where you to walk around the property. Well, they move up to the open gate, of which you've only ever seen open, and you've seen it's been used before, that for wagons coming in and transporting full of people, kind of thing, right?
So last time we were here, there was that hole they were bringing people up from, right? And it was all broken apart in pieces, if I remember right.
Yes, the cover, there was like a wooden cover that was smashed as Gozer used her brute force to push the wagon that the party had escaped from over and into the hole and tried to cover it up. I actually believe that was after it was broken. It broke because Bryn was standing on it, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
And she narrowly avoided falling inside of it as the Darklings were stabbing into it and trying to break it and smash it to get up and out to recapture the lot of you.
And that was in the barn.
That was in the barn, yes, and it leads into the Darkling tunnels. I think you've mentioned to each other before that as an entry point into the city could be very dangerous. And Shikara, you just hear the slow creak of the front door begin to open.
I will stand at attention and face the front door because I don't know who's coming in.
Okay, so you're going to move into view of it. As you can see kind of the house itself is rectangular in shape, right? Very simplistic as far as its construction goes. The front and back door are straight across from each other on the longest edges of the house, which runs west to east. The living room, of course, which you were in, and the kitchen area was separated by kind of this segmented hallway, an opening west and then east to either room, right? With the stairs at which Horic has positioned himself at, closest to the rear door, the back door.
I will position myself so I'm not in the hallway, but I'm still in the living room, but can see the front door, but I'm somewhat concealed from it.
Okay, again, you're attempting to hide?
half-heartedly, not really, but more like on alert because somebody's coming into the house where I'm in.
Okay, I understand. The heavy footfalls of these very well-armored paladins gonna step across the wooden floorboards of the house. First one gets 10 feet in before spotting you. The other two on his tail. I mean, again, like you're now like, unless you're retreating again, you're like 10 feet away from each other.
Who's there? Show yourself.
They step forward, fully into view of you.
What are you doing here?
Kind of looks to you, sees Horic at the stairs. Shikara and Horic, where's Shaft?
He went into Drakal. What business of it is yours?
You are to remand the weapons you've stolen from Samuel Cultus and the Eyes of Dendar.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We have been given instruction to ask you once. If you do not comply, you'll be put to death.
We have the eye that Samuel gave us, that is all.
Death it is. And we can roll initiative.
Attack. Yeah. Oh, fudge muffins. 13.
I'm going to roll 20, but I don't know what's going on right now, so... Or I guess I should say, I got a 20. But I'm going to roll a 20. I did roll a 20.
So, Shaft, you can hear kind of muffled voices of what's going on. So the cellar you're in is about 30 feet by 25 or so. It definitely not the full size and like doesn't match the floor plan of the house and the both stories of the house, right? So where it kind of ends and where it's kind of been carved out actually kind of ends about where that hallway between the two doors kind of is. So you can hear Shikara pretty well, and you understand that there's this exchange that's going on, and I mean you're about to hear the sound of combat, I'm sure. So, but you are first in initiative, so if there is something you'd like to do, you get the first opportunity.
The floor in this place, is it dirt?
The floor in the cellar is dirt, yeah. The walls and the floor. The story above you, though, is just like wooden planks.
All right, I think what I'm going to do is underneath the steps, if there's an area there where there's dirt, I'm going to quickly try to take my short sword and sort of dig out a hole for a second, trying to get something I can throw this bag that's glowing into while I listen to hear what's going to happen.
Next is Horic. Yes. As Horic draws back on his bow, he will actually retreat a bit up the steps, getting a bit of elevation here, kind of able to get the arrow over you, Shikara, like over your shoulder and over your head into the hallway into this first paladin. 2 hits with a 21 and a 27. 27 points of damage.
Nice hit.
So the first paladin kind of staggers as both arrows hit into his armor. Shikara, you're next.
I will cast Shield of Faith first as a bonus action, and then attack the first guy in front of me. 16 to hit.
No, that's a miss.
Swing around again. I'm not going to even tell you what that one was. Too concerned with where Horic is going and what Shaft is doing, I missed both times.
Okay, you kind of see a bit of a grin kind of creep across this first paladin's face as you're swinging.
I'm luring in with a false sense of security.
I see. Let's put Sparky right after you.
He can get it up in their face and give me an advantage, can't he?
Yeah, you can get in there and take the help action.
I will have him fly up in the paladin's face in order to give me the help action for next turn to give me an advantage, since I clearly need it.
Right. These paladins, they each are gonna step into the room, seemingly just ignoring Sparky. Each of them, almost like simultaneously, they kind of put their hands to the amulet, the replicant amulets that they wear. Each of the amulets kind of open up with this white radiance as 3 of these beams, one from each, kind of lance out at you.
This is gonna hurt.
Maybe not. Only okay. First one's a 25. We got 25, a 27, and only an 11.
I guess I can't parry this, can I? It's not a melee attack, so okay.
So 2 hits. First one, 16 radiant damage. Second one is 15 radiant damage. And you see that you are temporarily like coated in this almost like glitter, like you're sparkling. Back to the top of shaft.
Okay, so I hear all this calamity going on, and these lights, do they like light up the cracks in the floorboard where it's sort of see inside? So I know, things are going down. So as I'm digging into the ground, I look back, I see this happen. I want to jump up. I'm sort of by the steps as it is. Look at one of the huskies and just go, dig that hole! And run up the steps. And then, I don't know what you put on top of the door. Is it, what did you put up there? So can I open it?
I mean, what was there for me to put on top of it? If there was some kind of throw rug, I would have put that on it, definitely. And then, like, some egg shells and stuff, I think was the only other thing in there, right?
Yeah, there's the kind of moth-ridden rug, just absolutely filthy as well. And a number of kind of broken and discarded pieces of furniture, which you potentially could have piled on top as well.
And I wasn't trying to block it, just hide it. So
right.
I think, like, the rug and maybe, like, a chair.
Sure. Okay, Shaft. Why don't you just give me an athletics then to throw this thing open, if that's what you're doing.
Well, I want to open it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to open it up to shoot a bow. I would assume I can't. Do you think I can hold the door open with my hand and with my head and fire some arrows out of that?
I mean, I will let you do that, but it's still a matter of getting the debris off of it for you to open it.
Okay, so athletics.
Yeah.
15.
Oh yeah, no, not a problem. And so so this is like, you're like a typical trapdoor. You think it's got a hinge on one side, which the hinge would be facing actually eastward, so kind of facing like the window that you were peering and Sparky was looking out of actually. So it's actually kind of perfect. It opens up, and it would if you were to throw it completely open, it would open up. It's like it's a 5 by 5 foot kind of structure here, right?
Just so I understand. The door would be blocking my view of them, or I'd be opening up and I'd be able to see them?
Yeah, it's actually the hinges in the perfect spot for you. So you want to prop it on your head? You're essentially laying it on yourself? Okay.
I'm going to pop it up and I'm going to stand on it, and the idea is loose a couple arrows at these guys and then sort of go back down to close down. I'm going to prairie dog them.
with your 27 stealth, I'll give you the first shot you have is an advantage because you were hidden from them.
Nice. Okay.
Also, as you have turned to the huskies, they remain motionless. They didn't listen to your command.
Okay, it was worth a shot. So 28 to hit, 17 damage to the first one there that's next to Shikara. Let's see, there's 2 of them. I'm going to go with this one right here in the doorway, sort of in the middle. And then my second shot, also that's a 27, 10 for the second one.
Same guy?
Same guy. And then I'll sort of, bend my knees back down again to sort of shut the door up enough where I can sort of still peer out and see what's going on. Hopefully, waiting for my next attack.
Horic is going to continue hitting the same one with his arrows. He moves a little further, though, up these stairs. Kind of basically getting to where, like, the ceiling, right, kind of meets the railing of the stairs, which you can still kind of peer through. So he's about 10 to 15 feet up the stairs here.
Which one is he hitting?
The same one he was hitting before, the number 2 on the map. Well, first strike critical hit for our buddy Horic here. It's only 16 damage, though. And second hit's a 27, so another 26 total. And Shikara, you're up.
I will fuego, and everything around us will darken. Sparky, aid me! And I'll attack a guard number 3. The same one that Shaft hit. Punch. 19 hit him?
19 does hit, yeah.
I think I might smite him, too. Just a little smite.
Oh, no way. Seems rude.
28. Does Sparky's aid help with the second attack too?
No, it's just the first one.
I'll swing around again. I really need Sparky's aid.
Oh, no.
That's a 15 to hit.
Oh, that is a miss, unfortunately. He's able to get a kind of armored gauntlet up and shy away the blade. Sparky next. You're gonna get him help again, just until you say otherwise. He's gonna be doing that.
Yes.
You see, the one you just clobbered, Shikara, just kind of momentarily disappears before appearing and landing on the trapdoor shaft. You kind of get he bonks the few inches down onto your head, right? And now his full weight as he misty steps. I mean, it's only 15 feet, but he's popped himself on top of the trapdoor, both in an effort to get away from Shikara's blade and to block your attacks. And he raises both of his hands up, his gauntlets, towards Shikara. One begins to glow red, the other green, and 2 blasts, one from each, into Shikara. Only a 16, though, and a 17.
Neither hit. I am able to duck out of the way.
The 2 paladins still on you, Shikara, though. You see they now both, again, they raise their fists, though, hands clenched as they just begin to swing at you. 18 and a 22.
22 hits. And I will Hellish Rebuke.
Sure. So this is guard number 1. Hits you for 13 bludgeoning. He gets a 21 for his dexterity saving throw.
12. So half a 12.
You see almost a look of regret as he makes contact with you and then immediately engulfed in these hellish black flames. The paladin, though, number 2, who's been taking the arrows from Horic, still throws his haymakers at you as well. Ooh, again, and only a 14 and a 21. So 1 connect, right?
Correct.
You take another 10 bludgeoning from that guy.
Which is only 7.
And one of them, again, kind of over the fray of the battle, starts to call out through the open door to the other group. Back to Shaft.
So he sort of bonked me down a little bit. So I'm going to sort of put my foot up on the next higher step, sort of lean down as low as I can, and then try to push up and sort of knock him off, at least push the door open, see if I can at least get him off balance. What's like a strength, athletics?
Yeah, we can do contested athletics here.
18.
He gets a 21. And as you press your weight, you begin to make progress. And he just kind of jumps and then brings his feet like back down on you and just slamming the trapdoor shut again.
Is the trapdoor pretty solid?
It doesn't look too solid. It's fairly flimsy. Like much of the furniture in here, kind of the general decor, like the kitchen table and like the shelves on the walls, not the highest quality of material or even craftsmanship.
Does his weight crack the wood or make anything? Does it seem to be stable enough to keep him?
Once you've recovered from kind of the slam back down again, you see that there's a clear bow in the door itself.
Okay. So that was that my action, I assume, doing this push-up?
That would be your action.
Okay, I guess I'm going to stay where I'm at.
Horic sees the one that's the Missy Steps, going to focus fire on that guy as he's kind of crouched down now on the stairs between the railing and the floor above. 2 arrows. Ooh, only 2 17s, neither of which are enough to hit, even with his extraordinary bow. Shikara.
I too can Misty Step.
Oh my.
I'm going to Misty Step over to the guy on the trapdoor and try and shove him off of the trapdoor. Now, can I argue for advantage since I'm surprising him? And I roll shitty.
I will give you advantage if you agree that should you fail, you will fall prone and will not be able to get up this turn.
No. I'll roll normal.
All right, contested athletics.
20!
Wow, you were in luck because he rolled a 3, which makes his total a 15.
Damn.
So you see, you've Misty Step forward and not quite carried that momentum because that kind of would have given you the advantage should you have chosen to try to do so. But you instantly appear next to him, as his focus is still kind of towards where you were, right? But you catch him onto the side and you barrel your own shoulder down. And as the two of you, for the brief second of which you're struggling before you overpower him, like you see like the chest plate he's wearing just begins to glow and almost like radiate with an effect before you kind of almost like, as you overpower him, it's like snuffed out and let you shove him 5 feet off of the trapdoor.
And then I will bonus action hex him.
What ability checks would you like to give him disadvantage on? Which your order of operations could have been a little better. But it turned out for you.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Keep in mind that it does not apply to saving throws. It's only ability checks. Also, you should have had disadvantage on that strength check, but I'll catch you next time when you try to do something.
I hate that so much.
It's pretty brutal, yeah.
Athletics, I guess. In case I need to push him again.
All right. Paladins, back up. Unfortunately, the paladin just steps right back onto the trap door that you've left vacant.
And falls through.
And I mean, it's clear to both of you, like as he steps on it, there's some real flex to it.
Okay.
But he will just try to slug it out with you again, Shikara. A 19 and a 16.
Neither hit.
Well done. You're able to parry some attacks of your own. The paladin that Horic has been pelting tries to take cover from his line of sight up on the stairs as he moves along the railing of it, remaining on the ground floor, tucking himself kind of into the corner where they can no longer see each other. But he will raise up his gauntlets, and again they begin to glow red in one hand, green in the other, and will let out 2 blasts at Shikara. First one is a critical hit. It's going to be 17 necrotic damage.
Oh, remember how we discussed that necrotic damage heals me now? No?
The fire beam is only a 19, however.
I'm warmed by the flame.
And no reaction this time?
For the guy halfway across the room? No.
The last paladin here, he just, before leaving Sparky, he's going to slug Sparky.
How dare he?
He gets an adjusted 20, and you see just Sparky poofs out of existence as he makes contact with his powered gauntlet. I mean, Sparky only has 1 hit point, right?
I think he'd snuff out of existence.
Well, he did 12 bludgeoning damage to Sparky.
I think that would do it.
I mean, to his name, as Sparky emits, kind of explodes in a burst of static. Before advancing on Shikara. His last attack, this paladin's actually he's going to attempt to grapple you, Shikara. So let's do a contested athletics. You will have disadvantage.
Yeah.
Wow, only a 15 though.
14 plus 8. 22.
Enough to beat him. Again, you kind of fend off the effects and the enhanced abilities of clearly the chestplate is trying to offer these paladins. Still, you're able to overcome them.
Can I react to that, or only an attack?
Like, you can't hellish rebuke him. He didn't do damage to you. Shaft, you're up.
I look up at this trapdoor. I'm going to try to do the same thing I did before, this time being a little bit more aware that he may fall through this thing. So I'm going to, smash up against it and then sort of take a step back as soon as I hit it to see if I can at least weaken it or at least knock him off the door if I can. So we'll do athletics again.
Okay, and he is hexed and has disadvantage.
I rolled a 16. I'm gonna hope he's not gonna beat that.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He rolled his lowest is a natural 1, which makes it a 13. I mean, best case scenario for you right now is you push him off, right? That's what you're attempting. You're not trying to break it in some way.
I mean, if he falls through, he's gonna land right on the steps, right? And not, unless there's some possibility of him falling down the steps, but then he'd probably hit me. So let's just say I'm knocking him off.
Okay. You have sloughed him back, and I'm gonna say you've like thrown him back towards the wall, like towards the hinge of this trapdoor, as you open up and push with all of your amazing halfling strength, and created, put him on a slant, right, on a slope as he kind of slides, tumbling back towards the wall. So you've slung it up. Now you have the trap door between you and him, and you take in the room now. Shikara's right there, a paladin adjacent to her, one further back, and you can just see Horic arrow knocked at the between the railings of the stairs, eyeing another target.
All right, so I'm going to use as a bonus action Nature's Veil. I become magically invisible till the start of my next turn, and I'm going to move 10 feet around behind the guard number 1, which is opposite of Shikara. So essentially, I pop out of existence, and at the beginning of my next turn, I'm going to pop up on the other side of the guard that was not knocked over.
Horic lets out 2 arrows to the paladin that did not get shoved by shaft on Shikara. 14 and a 17. Wow, 2 misses again. He's rolling worse than Shikara is right now. Shikara, you're up.
You killed Sparky! Hurt! I will inflict wounds. So I will make a melee spell attack. 8.
Oh.
No, sorry. 12. 12, actually. Like, that's so much better.
I mean, it is technically a higher number, but still not high enough. Unfortunately.
Ah, crap.
As again, you miss. He smiles at you. I'm going to enjoy this. Before he just rounds again, both his fists. It seems this what they use in melee here is their gauntleted fists. First strike is a critical hit.
I can't parry that, can I? Since it's a crit.
Unfortunately, no. It was good timing with his little quip there. I swear it's not scripted, but he gets it's only 16 bludgeoning though. Follows up with only a 19.
You will pay for that.
The paladin that shaft pushed off of the trapdoor just kind of sidesteps 5 feet, gets directly behind Shikara, and again will just start to try to just smash into you with his fists. A adjusted 20 for the first hit.
I will parry that. It makes my AC a 26.
For that attack?
Yes.
So the follow-up hit is a 21.
That hits.
Only another 14 bludgeoning. Last but not least, gauntlets again light up with those colored beams. Adjusted 20 and a 26.
Both hit.
That's going to be 8 fire and 5 necrotic.
How are you looking to me?
Shakara's down.
Oh no!
Just that was exactly what it took.
Oh shoot! Uh-oh. Shaft.
All right, I pop back in behind guard number 1, and I'm going to make some attacks here. First with the bronze-scaled scimitar. That's a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Has he taken any damage?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see he's down there. Yeah, so that's 20 points of damage to him. Second attack.
Death Ward would have been a good idea this morning.
Oh, that's a crit.
Oh, hey.
So total damage to him would be 30. How's he looking?
He's officially bloodied. Barely.
Oh, crap. Wow, and there's 2 more of them.
In here.
Yeah, but the other two look worse off than this one does.
All right, then I'm going to go ahead and hit him for my 3rd attack with the short sword of oozes. That's only 14 to hit, but I'm going to use one of my luck points to try to hit this guy. 19 to hit.
That does it.
And that, with acid damage, totals 30.
Well done. And yeah, the acid from your sword, you see that his armor, and despite the enchantments cast upon these pieces, start to sizzle from the strike of your sword, and now he looks pretty unsteady after that barrage.
If I'd been able to hit him a couple times, he'd probably be dead.
Yeah, if only.
Yeah.
Come on, Horic. Use that bow. Use your bow, Horic.
I actually am looking at the sorcerer's spell list right now and trying to see if there's something he has. He could blink.
No healing spells?
Sorcerers do not get to heal.
I've got a potion of healing, but getting it in you is going to be a issue.
There isn't much Horic can do except try to finish what Shaft started here on that paladin. First arrow, 22 to hit. Second arrow's a 21, so both arrows will hit.
Awesome.
27 piercing from both hits is enough to take one of these down as he slumps to the floor next to Shikara's unmoving body.
And he did yell out to the others?
You heard, actually that was the one that did yell out. You did hear that. Horic will take his movement now, descending the stairs. Kind of tramples over the discarded eggs and furniture debris and gets right up to Shikara. 2 paladins remain, however.
Did you do a death save?
For you, no, I didn't. Thank you. Knew I forgot something. Yes, after Horic, Shikara, secret death save. Secret. Paladins.
And that's our show. If you're not already, be sure to follow us at Incorrigible Par on Twitter, Incorrigible Party on Instagram and Facebook, and you can go to incorrigibleparty.com for world lore and PC information, and we've recently started adding some maps there as well. Incorrigible Party is generously sponsored and made possible by Critical Hit Design. For any of your design needs, visit criticalhitdesign.com. All ambient sound and music is provided by Tabletop Audio, and our intro and outro music was created by Josh Jarvis. You can reach him at jamesmercymusic@gmail.com. Happy adventuring!